of the Claremont Colleges Secular Student Alliance group, and I founded the group a little over 2 years ago now, so at the very end of my sophomore year, and came to SSA Con the summer after that, and got some really great ideas to bring back to my campus. So today I'm hoping to help get the gears turning and help you guys start brainstorming some fun ideas to bring back to your campuses using some great SSA resources, including C.A.S.E, the best acronym in the world, which I'll tell you about. Well, I'll start telling you about it pre-presentation. So, actually, just first a teensy bit more background about me. So I majored in sociology, and Pitzer College, which is one of the Claremont colleges, has this thing called secular studies, which is really cool, and you should all Google Phil Zuckerman and find out more about secular studies. But so that sort of helped get me thinking about secularism and what that even is to begin with, and then, yay, and thank you, and then got me wanting to start an SSA group. So, using C.A.S.E to plan an awesome year. That's our topic for today, and let's see, yay. So, C.A.S.E stands for Community, Advocacy, Service, and Education. And I'm gonna go over a little bit about what each one of these is about, and then why C.A.S.E is important and why you should use it to help plan your SSA group's activities, and then how to go about doing that. Just some tips on like how to use C.A.S.E when you actually go back to school and want to start planning things. So community. I like to think that there's a reason that the C is at the beginning of the word, because community, to me at least, in my SSA group, has been one of the most important parts of the group. So this is about having a safe space, a brave space, a space of civility. I learned that term at the interfaith panel, for conversation and dialogue, and a community of atheists, agnostics, non-believers of any sort. And that really can come through in all of the different components of C.A.S.E, but community gets its own focus point. And then advocacy. That's about participating in rallies, taking action of some sort, organizing a protest, joining in with another student group maybe that's doing a protest. So a lot of these lend themselves really well to collaboration. Service. This is community service, volunteer work. It could be a service day, it could be working at a soup kitchen, and it's also great for bonding with your group because you get to do a lot of fun things together as well. And education, which is about within your group, educating yourselves about secular worldviews, issues that affect secular people, like separation of church and state issues, and also education of the larger community. So wherever your SSA group is on campus, you can host events that are open to the public, open to other students, so that everybody can kind of start even just hearing the word atheist and hearing people calling themselves atheists and talking about what that means. That all fits in like the education part for the larger community. And the little presents up there, I used those on all the slides where I am showing off the great resources that SSA has on its website, because it really is like a gift for us. And there's so much stuff on the website. So I threw in some screenshots so you guys can see what it looks like in case you haven't explored their site yet. And then you can go home and like spend hours reading all of the amazing things they've got. So why is C.A.S.E important? Not everybody likes the same stuff, we know that. And a lot of students might come to an SSA meeting because they love discussion and they want to have their voice be heard and engage with other students, but then other students explicitly don't go to those meetings because they really just want to do something off campus or some more action-based event, and they don't really feel comfortable engaging in conversation as much. So different strokes for different folks, much like the best variety pack of breakfast cereals. I I always loved that. So community. My goal with this presentation is to get, like I said before starting a little bit, but to get you guys thinking about what different events, activities, meeting themes you can bring back to campus. So I'm going to talk a bit about ideas for things you can do with each component of C.A.S.E. And I'll give some examples from my group, things we did, I got some photos in there, things we have talked about doing and want to do, but I can still share that with you even if we haven't quite gotten there yet. And then a lot of ideas from the SSA resources. So community is about having this atheist community, humanist community. There are lots of different labels that different groups like to use. And then it's also about how you fit into the larger community. So engaging with other student groups or the campus overall as well. And this could mean if you're in a religious area, having this community is crucial because a lot of atheists feel like they can't even be out and call themselves atheists in the larger community. But even in a campus environment like Claremont, where the Claremont Colleges are, which is pretty secular, and if you want to know all the details, come to my next presentation, which is a survey on how secular Claremont is, or religious. I still felt like I couldn't go around talking about being an atheist. It would have been a little weird. So having an SSA community where you can have those conversations is a really nice part of these SSA groups. So I have one recommendation for you guys. I'm giving you homework. This is a talk that Bart Campolo gave at SSA Con 2 years ago. I don't know if any of you have seen this or know Bart. He used to be a minister and is now a humanist chaplain. And this talk that I saw at SSA Con 2 years ago really got me thinking about what an SSA group community can look like. And it's sort of like taking the model of a youth group, like a religious youth group where they might have a Bible study and eat pizza together, and using that for a humanist community. Because it's a lot of the same things, like a community is a community, and a lot of religious communities provide really great resources and friendships and comfort for a lot of people, and a humanist community can do similar work. So I started describing our SSA group as, when I'm trying to tell someone what it's about and they have no idea, I'm sure you all know how it can be tricky to describe what your SSA group is. And so sometimes I just say it's sort of like a youth group, but without Jesus, or without the Bible, without any religion. And then people are like, oh, I could get behind that. Youth groups sound fun. Right, the power of community building. It's a great video. So for using C.A.S.E. for planning your year or your semester, some things that you can do just for the community building side of it are things that you might want to do with your friends anyway. Like, go hiking. If there's some just fun activity, does not have to do with secularism per se. Bring SSA friends, make a Facebook event, let them know, and you'll get to know people who you might not otherwise get to talk to at a regular meeting or an event. Have a game night. This is a fun one. I think when we did this, we didn't end up actually playing the games because we were all just talking and hanging out, and nobody wanted to start playing board games. So that's even better. I'd say very successful game night. Host a comedian. We were lucky to have Ian Harris coming to town, so it's sort of like this fun, different activity that you could go into town, see a comedy show together. We also had, thanks to Pomona College, they have this house up in the woods in the mountains and near campus, so student groups can have the house for a night. You can rent it. So we got to do this little retreat and go off campus, get out of the campus bubble, which is very real in Claremont. And let's see, we played games, laughed a lot. had some group discussions. So getting off campus is also great. This is not what our weekly dinners look like, but represents the weekly dinner that we started having. But we were at a dining hall at school, not, that would also be fun. But so just, it can be easy. It can be, oh, everybody's eating at the dining hall anyway, so we're gonna all get together and go eat together once a week or once every other week. Okay, advocacy. So this is about taking action. The A could also stand for action, honestly. And here are some examples of SSA groups. This I pulled from the SSA website. Hosting protests, standing up for reproductive justice issues, issues of separation of church and state. The list goes on. And if you go to the SSA website, they have all of these amazing ideas to help with your group brainstorming. So you can get your leaders together, talk about what case is, go to the SSA website, and look into each of the different sections for even more ideas. So the importance of political activism, how to get involved in this, and they even have specific resources for particular events, like Ask an Atheist Day. Has anyone done an Ask an Atheist Day? Yeah, cool. So they have a resource you can download, a full guide to how to host one of these events. And this is an example from a few years ago of a group that was doing that. One thing to remember in all of these advocacy, really in anything that your SSA group is doing, is that all of these issues are connected. And that can be really great for facilitating collaboration and coalition building. If you're dealing with a reproductive justice related issue, there are probably other groups on campus that would be interested in organizing a rally with you or an event. So intersectionality is key, and you can use it to your advantage to get more people involved and reach out to the people who care about similar issues. Service. So this is the community service related activities, and this doesn't necessarily have to be something that you organize yourself. It could be, like, for example, at the Claremont Colleges, the chaplains, the different religious groups have an interfaith, or they call it a multi-faith service council, I think. Where is it? Yeah. And they organize service days for a few times a year. So we can, just as our SSA group, we can just advertise that, send it out in the email, maybe make a separate Facebook event if we think that'll get people interested in going, and then have the Humanist group represented when students go and do these service days. There was also an MLK service day. And the SSA site has another gift for you with service activity packets with even more ideas. This presentation could be like an hour long, and I can just list all of these amazing ideas that SSA gives you, but I'll let you go to the website and it won't keep you here. So doing service work does multiple things for your SSA group and for secularism in general. So it's a fun activity for your group. It mixes things up, but also it helps show the larger community that atheists aren't like horrible people eating babies or whatever people think atheists are doing. Instead, we're going out and doing good stuff like some of the other religious groups might be doing. So it's also a great opportunity for some interfaith work. And here's another, SSA resources continued, community service around campus ideas. Education, the last part of C.A.S.E. I have to agree with this. Learning is fun. And it's really fun in your SSA group when you all find an issue that you want to talk about, to learn about, and to sort of self-educate yourselves on. So that's the internal part. And that could be how to be a better ally to the trans community on campus. You can collaborate with another student group, have students come in and talk about how to support other marginalized groups on campus. And that's sort of like this self-education, how to live life better, internal part of the education component of C.A.S.E. And then the larger community aspect of this is hosting an event like that, or hosting an event about secular worldviews and what those even mean, like all the different labels, and hosting it for the larger community, because people aren't necessarily talking about what humanism is, but you can get them talking. So the SSA site has a lot of ideas there. This was a event that the Multi-Faith, I think it was the Multi-Faith Service Council, the chaplains at Claremont were organizing, so we could get SSA students to go, and it's a conversation with professors. You're learning about different people's worldviews, getting the dialogue going, and a way to collaborate with other groups. We had Dan Barker come to campus, which brought in a lot of other students that maybe wouldn't come to a regular SSA meeting, but they're like, oh, I get to go learn about this cool topic that I have never heard about before, or that I'm interested in. I'll go check it out, and then they come learn what SSA is. This is Phil Zuckerman, our advisor and the secular studies professor. Bring in a professor for an education meeting. Have them talk about their specialty, maybe someone from philosophy, but maybe someone from a discipline that isn't necessarily associated with atheism and secularism. Just anything that you might be interested in. Have an English professor come in, do a poetry workshop. It could be something totally different to mix it up a little bit. And always have food if you can. And if you reach out to local food places, they'll often donate food for student events. So just keep that in mind. Okay, I'm wrapping this up here, but if you keep in mind the 4 different components, one way to do this is rotate through, and each month have a different event or meeting from each component of C.A.S.E. And check out the SSA site for more recommendations on incorporating all of those. And thank you. Please, if you have any questions or want to just talk more about brainstorming ideas for your group, contact me in any of these various ways, and I'd love to chat. Thanks.